Everybody, Jeff Bates is my name. Dole Whip Dad is this channel. I am really glad you're here for another edition of Disney Creators. So if you're a veteran of this channel, you know that if it's Sunday, it's Disney Creators on my channel. 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, I interview a Disney creator. Disney podcasters, like tonight, Disney YouTubers, sometimes Disney shirt creators. If you create in the Disney space, if you're sharing the magic, I'm trying to give back. I want to get to know them. I want to share who I know with other people. It's just fun, spreading a little Disney magic. And today, we're going to get to know Detour to Neverland. I recently got to sit down with Brendan and Catherine virtually and interview them about their podcast, Detour to Neverland. They've got about 250 episodes as we record this. That's a couple a week for quite a long time. They've been doing this for a couple of years now. They are prolific podcasters. One of his goals Brendan does, is to start to podcast daily. We'll see how that goes. I'm rooting for you, buddy. That's a lot of work. Let's get to know Brendan and Catherine from Detour to Neverland, the podcast, right now. All right, tonight on Disney Creators, kind of live, we're recording an interview with Detour to Neverland. Hello, my friends. How are you two?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. You've got a podcast with almost 240 episodes. Am I right?
Quantity over quality, right?
Why do you say that? Well, 240 is a lot. That's why you say that.
It is a lot, but I think they've all been quality. We've kind of jumped around, talked about different topics, but each one of them, we've been proud of putting them out. So, we just like putting them together.
Yeah. If you don't know who these guys are, this is Brendan and Catherine Wright from Detour to Neverland. The podcast is Detour to Neverland, and the YouTube channel, I hear, is Detour to Neverland. I hear because you just told me like right before the show started, but that's pretty cool. Tell me about why you're moving over to YouTube, and then we'll dive into your podcast, of course. But what's over on YouTube for you?
Well, we just wanted to try something different. We've been podcasting for like 2 years now, which is kind of crazy to say. And video has just been something that we've always been interested in. So we finally saved up the money to get all the gear, and we figured, let's just do it.
Yeah. So, like Catherine said, video has just been like our big, hairy goal for forever. And it's always eluded us. We've tried different things. We tried IGTV and whatever else. And we've always said, like, we just need to record our podcast episodes in video format and put them up there and then supplement with B-roll from the parks. So we're really excited for it.
Yeah. See, so I just learned a thing. It was me and you on IGTV, nobody else.
Yeah. I don't know too many people who are using it much anymore. But
I thought it was going to be a thing. I was wrong, but it is what it is. I love that, though. Spotify's diving headlong into podcasting, as I'm sure you know if you're podcasting, and you are. And one of their big things that they're going to be pushing are now and will is video podcasts. So that makes perfect sense. Will you be just placing your podcast episodes as a video on there, or with the B-roll like you just said, or are you going to do other things on YouTube too?
I think we'll probably explore other areas as well. One of our podcast types are storytelling episodes, and it's all about attractions in the parks. So that'll lend itself really nicely. We go and record a little blurb standing in front of the attraction that we're doing, maybe get some ride footage if we're feeling frisky. But, I think there's different things that we can supplement, but probably at the core, it's going to be, having just a video to go with the podcast. I don't know if people want to see our facial expressions while we're doing it. It's a lot of elbowing and pointing.
Like what are you saying? I'm confused.
But it'll be fun.
I love it. Well, so I teach and coach, and I've been diving into some things that involve this thought process. I just told somebody recently, if I could do it over again, I would have started with the podcast and then moved over to YouTube, but I'm doing it the other way. So you guys are winning in that, well, in my opinion already. I think it's smart. And look at the Joe Rogan experience. It's my goodness. He does an hour and a half podcast, and he's got 14 different videos to post from that thing. And so it just makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people with a regular a lot of episodes of podcasts are looking at it like, wow, we would have had all this content. Did you video record your podcasts in the beginning? Have you been already doing that? Or will that be a new thing? Like we're doing now. I mean, this is a podcast. If we just throw it on a podcast, right? I mean, same kind of thing.
Yeah, it'll be brand new. We've never recorded before. Like we went for a while and we record like little promo videos almost and throw them up on our stories or on IGTV.
Sure.
But never when the microphones were actually on, we're actually recording. So it'll be a new experience for us. We're so used to, like I said, we have the facial expressions back and forth to each other. Like, what in the world did you just say?
Right?
So
Married
many
couples
faces.
faces are like my favorite thing. My wife, well, I won't even go into it. So I think it'll be good. Trust me, it'll add a little layer that's fun. Or you guys will fight, and that'll be, it'll go viral. It'll be great.
You'll see it. You'll get to
Yes.
see it now. So that's the key.
Yeah, but we've also a lot of people make fun of us for it. We've been a one microphone podcast for all 240 episodes
Until just now.
We just got the second mic. So used to, it's a lot of leaning in and leaning back.
Like
and
hitting each other. He's like pulled my hair before.
Let's not.
Getting out of the way.
It's a whole different genre right there. I think, one of the things I love about a married couple is, again, like the podcast thing, your kind of goals. For me, I started my YouTube channel and tried to get my wife to come over, and kicking and screaming. It was no, 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 no. And then finally we're doing a morning show. If I read your bio, it sounds like maybe it was Brendan first, couple next. Tell me about that. Am I close?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it was. The podcast was kind of his idea. And I mean, maybe after 40 episodes, somewhere around there, he just came down from interviewing someone, and I said, like, well, hey, what if I joined? And he's like, yeah, we can try it. And I just never left.
I love that.
So that's kind of just how it happened.
I tried to get her. This is how I tried to get her to marry me and to get her on the shows. Hey, come on. So it worked out. You had it the other way. So let's talk about it. Why a podcast? Well, let's start with the podcast, and we'll dive into your passion for Disney. Why a podcast? I mean, 240 episodes, but you do a lot. Like, you've been doing it for a couple of years, but you have a lot of episodes for how long you've been podcasting. Am I right? Or I feel like you've been around for 2 years or so. Tell me if I'm crazy.
No, you're right.
I think it started in August of 2018. So we're a little bit over 2 years old now. We have, for most weeks, I'd say 95% of the weeks during that time span, we've released at least 2 episodes per week, sometimes 3.
That was
little bonus
hectic.
Episodes.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's just kind of always been, we do our research, we get everything ready, we press record, and I still feel like we're putting out a quality product. And that's kind of always been the test of, if it's becoming a pain, then we can scale it back. But as long as we're enjoying it, let's keep scaling it up and seeing what we can do. And if we come up with a random idea on Thursday night, then let's see if we can throw something together and put it out on Friday. And some of those things have popped up, and I don't know if it's still true, but when we first started, my goal was always, I wanted to be a daily podcast.
Wow.
And, obviously anybody in the content creation space knows how difficult that can be. I'd still like to think someday we could get there, but
how long of an episode do you currently put out in general? And how long would the dailies be if you went that way?
I'd say right now we average around 45 minutes to an hour. If we went daily, I think we'd have to
scale back.
Because that's asking a lot of people. I know, it's still crazy to us that anybody wants to hear our voices 2 times a week. And so asking people to listen an hour a day, 5 times a week or 7 times a week is.
But the truth is, I mean, so like on YouTube, you get, say you have 4,000 subscribers, you're not getting 4,000 people on each show. And even then, people are watching and or listening who aren't subscribers. It's the same in the podcast world. They don't have to listen to everyone, but if they want something new. So I'm doing a daily show in the morning, Good Morning Disney. It's Monday through Saturday, unless work gets in the way, and work does sometimes. It has the last few days. But regardless, I don't expect, boy, it would be awesome, right? But I don't expect every person who's ever listened to my show to watch it every week. I mean, I can't even get my mom to watch it every dang day. Like, that would be amazing. I wouldn't even watch it every day. And it's my own dang show. But the more you put out there, I'm a big believer in, take your shot. And if you take 40 shots, a couple are going to drop, right? And that's how you get found. I don't suggest daily vlogging, but I daily vlogged in 2019 on purpose because I wanted to see, well, A, am I going to get good at this? B, can I build a audience? It just makes sense. I mean, the time commitment is nuts. But if you guys daily podcast versus 2 times a week, that's fully 3.5 times more content to be found, right? Is that kind of the thinking?
Yeah, and that's definitely part of it. And I think, we're trying to serve that role of people who are missing Disney or trying to get that deeper appreciation for Disney. So, our mindset has always been you can never have enough of that. You can keep pushing that. There's enough topics to explore that you'll never run out. But I also think, that's how it comes back to YouTube as well, because anybody who's familiar with podcasting, it almost seems like you have a much shorter window for an episode to catch traction. It gets the search functionality in a lot of those podcast apps. It's not great. It's not nearly as robust as YouTube. And so I think that's part of YouTube for us as well, is let's get some keywords. Let's get something that we purposely create evergreen episodes. We don't cover much news. So let's give this content a place to live where it can be discovered over time.
Brendan, I totally agree with that. The evergreen episodes are easier to be found on YouTube. And then if they find you on YouTube, they're going to find you over on Detour to Neverland, which can be found pretty much everywhere where podcasts can be found. Yes.
Yeah, everywhere.
Now, Catherine, how do you feel about daily podcasting? I watched your face change, but I want to hear from Catherine on that.
So, I mean, to me, it's a little more daunting. And I think it's because Brendan's dream has always been to do this full time. And I waver because I'm a teacher too. And I love my job. And it was when we decided to move down to Florida, I had considered like stopping teaching. I didn't want to, I thought I'm going to do something different. I could find something else. And then, COVID happened. And during that time period from March to May, I think I realized how much I missed it, which is crazy because I taught middle school and they're crazy from March to May.
So I love the young kids and I love high school. I used to coach high school sports and I've worked with younger kids, those middle school kids. I'll leave them to you. And by the way, I just left a parent meeting where I'm going to be teaching a class for junior high kids. So if you're listening, guys, I love you.
Well, they're so lovable. So I just missed it so much that we had to have that conversation. Like, I don't think I can stop yet. I don't know if I'm going to teach forever, but I want to teach for now. So I think that's just where I'm at, where daily plus teaching sounds like a lot. So I think if we went daily, maybe Brendan would have to do like his twice a week, just him. And then maybe we'd still do like our 2 or 3 times a week together. And we'd have to kind of find like an interesting mix. But
well, if you're posting daily, you don't have to record daily. You can post,
True.
You can record Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or what. But anyway, I'm not here to advise, but there's ways around that, especially if you're taking a 45-minute episode and turning it into a couple 20-minute episodes. I mean, shoot, maybe this will be 5 or 6 videos. Who knows? But anyway, so who brought the love for Disney first? I'm guessing Brendan has been I'm just guessing. I don't know this. I'm guessing Brenda has been since birth a Disney person. Am I right about you?
Definitely at birth. And then I'm kind of one of those people who wavered a little bit, coming into teenage years and then came back to it as I got later and got closer to adulthood. And then when we started dating in high school, that helped it as well.
So Catherine was already, I'll shut up. Catherine, tell me about you. When did you fall in love with Disney?
Probably as a kid. It was one of those things our family went every, 3 or 4 years, like a big family trip. And then, we watched all the movies. And just as we got older, it turned into our parents would let us bring our friends on Disney trips and things like that. And then my sister did the college program.
Oh, nice.
So we were never too far away from Disney.
Where did you guys move from? I know you're down in Orlando now. I don't think I know where you moved from.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Did I know that already? I don't know. Well, how would you know? There's so many Disney YouTubers that I know that are in Tennessee. It seems to be a hotbed for Disney creators. Do you agree with that, or am I crazy? What are your thoughts?
No, I think that's definitely true. And it's even been after we've moved down here, it seems like we've discovered more, because we mentioned Nashville in the podcast and online sometimes, but now we talk about it more regularly because
you're not there anymore.
Mainly, we're missing the hot chicken and the food and the barbecue. But
KFC, it's on every corner in America now. What the heck?
yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a community in Nashville, and I wish that we had connected with them more when we were up there.
That's right. They're in Orlando more than they're in Tennessee anyway. So just like you guys are. How was the move? Because, and now talking about my wife a lot, I guess I like her. How do I talk somebody who really doesn't like bugs and humidity into going down to Orlando with me? Because I really want to go there, and I'm losing the fight. It's not even a fair fight at this point. Did you both want to go there? Did one of you have to twist somebody's arm? Is it horrible? What is up with love bugs? I need to know everything.
Love bugs. I mean, it was something we had honestly talked about for forever, just because Brendan lived in Tennessee his whole life, and I moved around a lot as a kid. So we just kind of always had that discussion, like, oh, maybe someday we'll leave. And it just kind of got to the point where it was like, well, if we're going to do it, we have to do it now, because we're not really tied to anything. Like teaching, you can do anywhere. We don't have like kids or real responsibilities. Yeah. So we're like, we're just going to try it out. We're going to move to Orlando, and we just went for it.
Are you glad you did? Or is it harder than it looks? Is it easier than it looks? Please lie to me if it's hard.
I think
my wife maybe will listen.
We've loved it so far. I think the food has been a lot better than we expected. We found a lot of great like local spots.
Wait. The food was better than you thought you expected. Oh, hold on. I need more information on that.
Well, okay. So we are like huge, like in Nashville, Friday night, cheap Mexican night, every single Friday. And
I'm from San Diego, so I can relate a little bit.
So people had told us is that you will not find as many Mexican restaurants in Orlando.
Which would be a huge turnoff.
Here in Texas, they call it Tex-Mex, and it sucks.
Yeah. And I think it's true that there's less, but they are still there. And you still get the all wood furniture, the low lighting, the, $6.99 combination meal with every single combination that
very specific wants there. Even on the light, I've honestly, as a fan of food and eating in general, I don't go, honey, let's find someplace with low lighting very often. So,
it's part of the process. Okay, you got to find it.
I knew I would learn some things. There's one.
So luckily, we found one near our house. I think for us, the biggest thing is obviously we haven't shied away from it at all. Is that we moved here for Disney. And of course, right now, Disney just looks a little bit different than what we expected, with the reservation system and not being able to go to the resorts as easily has been probably the biggest pain point for us. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's been great. Love bugs are as advertised, though.
I don't understand. So I'll just tell my love bug story because I don't have any idea why. So I'm down there with a friend. She's a cast member. We go shopping in the cast member shopping only place, whatever that gets called. And I get in my car. I don't even want to describe it. This was about to become a PG-13 or up show. What is going on with those things? They are like a bad dream. I want to get one of those. Do either of you love bugs? Because I'm about to talk meaningly. I want one of those little zappers and just go to town for like a week. I would never run out of things to smash. What the heck?
And we haven't even been here for spring love bug season, which is worse. We've only been here for fall love bugs. We did see some palmetto bugs when we first moved into our house. New constructions, of course, that always comes with bugs because you've displaced them. Palmetto bugs.
If you're only listening, you need to go and watch the video because the face change right there was pretty good. Pretty good.
They're really bad.
Palmetto bugs are like flying cockroaches.
They're huge.
And we were
a lot of fun. You are not helping.
We were getting in bed one night, and I saw one crawling behind the headboard.
Oh, so Paula, hold on, Paula, my wife, if you're listening, just go away because I want to continue the car. But I really want to move there. All right, keep going.
So I jumped up, and I was like, "Don't panic." And she's like, "What was it?"
Don't panic.
I wouldn't tell her what it was.
So I'm panicking.
I'm sure that made you feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's like,
man,
cockroach.
That's where you lie, right there.
She's like, was it a cockroach? And then I couldn't find it. It fell behind the headboard, and then finally it crawled out from under the bed, and we were able to smash it.
I feel like me and you need to just hang because you're going to need a little. So, hey, honey, don't panic. I can't find it, but don't worry about it. It's
gone.
Not the way to go. It's
Honestly,
probably not.
Yeah, honestly though, we got a screened-in patio now for our backyard. That is a complete game changer because they all come through the doors. You just crack the door for the dogs to go out, and they all come in. So now that with the screen door, it at least adds a little buffer.
When I edit this video, I think we're going to have for all viewers and for everyone that's not named Paula, just like 2 videos, and I'm just going to edit that part out. Just totally didn't follow directions and help me on that. But anyway, that's okay. But I'm glad you're down there. Let's get into Disney, your favorite park and why.
So mine has always been Magic Kingdom. For years, I would have said Magic Kingdom. Now that we're down here, I don't know if it's just the allure of it's difficult to get or what it is about it, but Hollywood Studios is just calling to me. And
are you a Star Wars nut like I am?
I am a Star Wars nut. I'm also a Muppets nut. I'm wearing a Muppet
I love
shirt.
you already. So it was kind of number 4 on most people's lists until, recently it changed drastically. Oh, and then it did again. So, I think you're not alone in that.
Yeah. So we may or may not have the next 3 Saturdays. We have Hollywood Studios reservations. And that's just kind of how it's been playing out. If you're going through the park reservation system right now and you see Hollywood Studios pop up, you have to grab it.
You can't let that pass.
Is it that much harder? Like, really?
Yes.
On weekends, on weekdays, it's a little easier. But, with her being a teacher and the park's closing a little bit earlier, we're almost relegated to going on weekends.
A lot of my friends who live down there, one in particular that moved there like the day COVID hit, I'm pretty sure, really are unhappy with the closing early thing. They've got a real job too, right? It's hard to call in sick and get content. Also, that this doesn't work.
Yeah, my ask has just been like open Epcot at noon or 1 p.m. and leave it open until 10. And I feel like that would satisfy a lot of people's needs because, if they're closing at 7 or 8, by the time we get off work and we get over there and go through security and get our temperatures checked, you got 2 hours.
Yeah.
So still worth it. Still a better day than not being in the parks, but
sure,
it's a little bit difficult.
Catherine, your favorite park and why?
Animal Kingdom. And I think, it just always has. I love the Tree of Life. I've always loved Kilimanjaro Safari. Recently, I found that I just love walking around the Tree of Life. I think that's something that until we moved here, I just skipped. Because why would you just want to walk around if you're at Disney? But we've spent so much time there and it's always empty and you always see something new and you can see the character cavalcades really easily when you just like stand there. They all pass by. Animal Kingdom.
I love that one too. Are you watching the Disney Plus? I think they're 3 episodes deep. I don't know. I don't want to lie, but
Or now. It's Friday.
Was there another one tonight? Yeah, of course. That's right. Oh man! So, if you're listening to this and watching this, we're taping this. Taping, is that an old man word? I don't know. We're recording this right before a Dodger game. It's important, and 2 shows on Disney Plus. Is it the right stuff? I'm loving that one. The Animal Kingdom one, I'm totally in love with. Brendan, are you watching the Muppet Show? Did you like the Muppets? I'm also a Muppets nut, and I'll just say it. I didn't love the Muppet Show.
I didn't love the Muppet Show. I like Earth to Ned more. I've been keeping up with that one.
People love it. I haven't checked that one out yet.
That one's pretty good. But yeah, we've been watching the Animal Kingdom show religiously. Yes. We went to Animal Kingdom last weekend. Our whole goal is we got to see Gino, the gorilla.
You know what I want? I didn't know I wanted this. I really like my career too, and I'm having fun doing all these things, but I kind of want to be Josh Gad. He's got the best gig ever. He's Olaf. He gets to talk to the rhinos. He gets to talk to me about rhinos. It's a good gig.
It's not bad at all.
Yes, God's buddy. Okay, favorite place to eat. You're down there all the time. You talked about dimly lit restaurants, which I'm still a little confused about. I'm assuming you're going to give me a Disney answer, but it doesn't have to be. Favorite place to eat. Usually when I ask this, it's on Disney property, but I'll just say in Orlando. Because I don't know why.
Do you have one?
Yeah. I want to make sure I get it right. Toledo? Is that it? Yes. So we've been to Toledo one time. So at the top of
Destino Tower. And it was incredible.
Topolino?
No, Topolino's at Riviera. Mm-hmm. Toledo is the one at Coronado.
I don't know this. Tell me more. I need all the details now.
It is very similar to Topolino's, like the
Very
aesthetic
similar.
and, you know,
Is it dimly lit?
no, because they have like floor to ceiling windows.
Sorry, but it's pretty good. All right, keep going.
I mean, they have like a lot of options, which we like because I'm a very picky eater. Lots of options. When they're doing fireworks, you can see the fireworks, which is always fun. And we had this steak with some kind of green sauce, and I don't like green things, but it was chimichurri sauce, and it was
You don't like
incredible.
green things, so I really love you both already. Like I have honestly said that out loud. I don't want green things on my plate. I want green things on my Muppets, not on my plate.
This you could do. It was very good.
I mean, if you're someone who doesn't like green things on your plate and you liked it, I'll trust you. But most people tell me that, and then I get a salad, and I'm annoyed with them. So.
No salads.
Brendan, favorite place to eat, and tell me about the lighting. Where you tell me.
I think Toledo was mine too, but just to keep it interesting, probably my second choice would be Homecoming. It's just, you know, I guess the first time we went there, we described it like it's Cracker Barrel on steroids, and it's just it never
A bunch of my
fails.
friends love that place. I've never eaten. I didn't even hear of the first place you told me about, so I'll be checking that out when we're done here. But Homecoming is probably, when I ask this question, I bet 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 times people mention Homecoming. I need to check it out. It's what is it about Homecoming that makes it so special? Because I mean, it's comfort food, right? What am I missing?
Fried chicken and donuts, all on the same plate, is what you're missing.
Wow, are any of them green?
No.
no
Nothing green there.
And I think, you know, no matter what you get, you need a wheelbarrow to get out of there, and that's what I'm looking for out of a meal. So.
Oh, you guys are fun. I like it.
So I don't think anybody's ever been to Homecoming and been disappointed with what they've gotten.
No.
Yeah. It gets answered a lot when I ask this question.
It's good.
It's a good place.
So-
It's hard to get a reservation, though. You haven't
Now-
gotten to go.
We're on video, and I've got other questions, and we're going to get to them in a minute. But I'm looking at, I'm watching you guys make your funny faces, but you're not dimly lit, so I can see what you got behind you. And this is the first. This is the world premiere of your wall. I want to know what we got back there. There's some cool posters, and well, I'm going to shut up and ask. I think I know what some of those are, but what do you got behind you there? I love them.
So behind Catherine is both of the posters behind us are all of the transportation vehicles in Disney World and Disneyland. So it's got every single ride vehicle, every single form of transportation. It's even got a mule for Disneyland. So it's pretty cool. We just found those on eBay.
I've not ridden the mule. Just going to throw that out there. You got to be older than me, and I'm pretty old. Get to stand. Yeah, I don't know. What is it? Please stand. I don't know. Away from the wall. It could have been funny if I was funny. But anyway, what else? It's like some maybe.
Yeah, and then this is it. It goes all the way up to the ceiling, so you can see like 4, and I think there's 2 more rows above that you can't see of Funko Pops.
Well, Brendan is an avid collector, much to my dismay. He loves them. They're fun. I get to pick a few, but I'll just like come home from school and be like, guess what I ordered today? And he'll have to show me the picture of the new Funko Pop we have coming.
So we've actually already run out of space. Oh, nice.
Might have some. I only have probably about 8 that I can reach while I'm sitting right here. Kind of crazy, but I won't make you see all 8. But anyway.
So we still have some that are in the closet, still in their boxes, because we haven't found a shelf home for them. But yeah, we display ours out of the box mainly just for room.
The boxes.
We do keep the boxes,
which is nice because then it takes up twice the room. I'm sure is what you're thinking, Catherine.
Exactly.
I keep them in the box because they might run away if I don't do that.
So yeah, and then in between us we have Mickey with Sleeping Beauty's castle for the 65th anniversary, and then Oogie Boogie with his
I like them all.
Wheel of Fortune. What would you call that?
I don't think I'd call it a Wheel of Fortune.
Vanna White's hiding that back there somewhere, and Pat Sajak.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is your favorite one? And well, which is your favorite?
Ooh, that is a good question.
My favorite would probably be Doug, because we're big Up fans.
Oh, Doug. Okay, it took me a minute. I'm like, Doug. Doug. I love Doug.
Nice,
I even have a dog
there.
that looks like Doug. Okay.
Yeah, we had to organize them by like category. So we have Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar.
You have put more effort yours than I have. Mine just have a box and go over there. But,
My favorite one is behind you, so you can't see it, but it's Alice in the teacups.
Nice. Yeah, that's a recent one, right? The 65th.
Well, that one is with the Mad Hatter and the Cheshire Cat. I'm very upset. I didn't get either of those. Alice is a couple years old, and I don't think she's sold out. They had her available for a really long time. But that was the first Parks exclusive ride one that we got. And that's my favorite series to collect.
The ride vehicle ones, I love those too. There's a Mickey bobsled one I need to get. I don't even know if I own it either. We just got it or I'm about to get it, or I don't know, whatever. But sometimes I actually prefer the ones that don't sell out because I want them. I don't mind if you have them, and I don't want to spend $800. So keep it at $19 or whatever, and make 50,000 of them, people. But whatever. I'm not going to sell. I'm not a Funko investor. I'll buy stock if I want to invest. Not Funko. People, whatever. What else do you guys collect? I'm a big Disney pins collector, and I collect a lot of other stuff too. But this is about you. What else do you collect, if anything?
We don't do pins. No. We've thought about it, and we've just never. I think we know.
Don't do it. It's like Disney crack. I'm telling you. It's like you watch Breaking Bad. It's like the blue stuff. Yeah. I thought it was silly. I had 4 daughters and a wife doing it. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, that's great. And then I did one, and now I'm an addict. So stay away. Stay far away.
And then I don't know, ornaments. I guess is our other thing.
Yeah.
Normally, whichever resorts that we stay at, we'll get an ornament from that place. And so that's pretty much it.
Got it. Yeah. We don't have enough room for multiple collections. The Funko Pops are already taking over. So
if you're still doing Funko Pops, you've got. I understand. That's fair.
That's it.
No. Okay. You mentioned movies earlier, Catherine. Favorite Disney movies? You know what? Give me 2. Give me something that's recent, and then give me a classic from both of you, please.
Oh gosh. Well, Lion King is always my go-to.
Yeah.
Is that a recent or a classic?
Oh, classic. Okay. Classic Lion King.
It's classic now.
What?
92 is classic now.
94. That's always my fun fact. That's the year I was born, so I can remember that.
Oh my gosh! So you're calling me old and you don't know it. Fun fact: that's the first movie I took my wife to, is The Lion King, which is why she got to hang out with me more. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway.
New. That's a hard one. Does Up count? Is Up new? I don't know.
I mean, I don't like rules. You got Doug behind you. Yeah, Up counts. What are we gonna piss off Doug? Of course, that's perfect.
My classic one is, I feel like the right answer is Peter Pan because all of our branding is Peter Pan, but it's probably The Jungle Book over Peter Pan. And then recently, I mean, I really like Coco.
Yeah, Coco's good. Good stuff. I love it. Now, you talked about the character cavalcade. You talked about a few things. I used to ask favorite character meetup, but now I'm going to ask it a little different. Favorite character to see in the parks. And really, I changed that right now, Catherine, because you made me think of Doug, and then you made me think of, oh my gosh, what's the bird's name?
Kevin.
Oh my gosh, I need more coffee, or all I have is Diet Pepsi. But Kevin is not really a meetup, but he just, kind of pecks at your head while he walks around. Favorite character to see or hang out with in the park?
I mean, Kevin is the coolest. I'm trying to think of who else we really like to meet.
Baymax.
Oh, Baymax. Yeah.
Where the heck do you meet Baymax in the parks?
He was in Epcot for the longest time. I think even before COVID, they took him out. And it used to be like where Joy and Sadness would meet. I don't know what that building is called.
Like across from the Epcot character spot.
Yeah.
Across where they passed out the magnets and you could buy umbrellas for $49.99 or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then as far like I always try to think about it in face characters and then whatever you call the other type of character. The Mad Hatter, even if you see him in parades and he's talking, he's always hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like it. Just checking each other. I like it. If you're watching the video, if you're listening to the audio, watch the video. Trust me, the faces have been fun tonight. So your podcast, 250 episodes coming up. I mean, at your rate, in a week, right? What are you at? 240? How many are you at right now?
I think the next one is 245, 246.
Right around the corner. You doing something special for 250?
It's a good question.
We're launching a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That's good, actually. That's really good. Let me ask it this way. I'm trying to get you to talk to the peeps about your podcast. So if you've never listened, if somebody who's watching this or listening to this has never listened to the Detour to Neverland podcast, what are they going to hear? What should they expect? Stuff like that there.
Well, we do a couple different things. So we started with interviews. So we were always interested in getting to know other people in the Disney community and kind of how they got involved or how they started their project, because in Tennessee, that's what we were missing. And we relied on those people to kind of give us that Disney boost. So we thought, let's get to know these people, and then, let's find out how they can share their knowledge in helping other people launch their own
Now, you're
Disney
talking
project.
about Disney creators, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just for anyone, I know the answer, but for people who are listening, you're not talking about Disney cast members or that kind of thing. You're talking about other creators.
So other podcasters, YouTubers, Etsy shops.
Love it.
I mean, you name it, anyone who's creating Disney things. So that was a big part, and it still is a big part of our podcast. That's kind of what we started with. So that's like the foundation. And then kind of as time went on, we decided we wanted to branch out into other things that just interested us. So then Brendan came up with the storytelling series.
Okay.
So for those, we're taking an attraction every single week and talking about the history of it, but mainly talking about what is the story that attraction is trying to tell you, with the goal that the next time that you ride it, you catch something new or it pulls out a different emotion out of you. And really for us, it's really therapeutic for us. Like Big Thunder Mountain, we had no idea that there was so much backstory to it. Haunted Mansion, I'm sure, many people know you will never know everything about the Haunted Mansion.
Well, they're kind of playing with us there. They've got 3 or maybe even 4 backstories. So you kind of get to choose your own adventure with that one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of take those as they come in and talk about the history, talk about the storytelling aspects of it. And that's been really fun. And then we just launched a brand new series that we only have 1 episode out for right now. And that one is kind of playing on the same idea, but it's how you can do it at home as well, of, what's a particular emotion that Disney provides to us.
Oh,
so the first episode we did joy. And so we said, where in the parks can you find joy? Where in the parks, or where at home or in the car can you find joy with Disney? And so that's been really interesting as well.
On Inside Out there or
well, we called it One Little Spark. So we went with Figment, similar vein there between Inside Out and Figment. And so, yeah, for joy, for example, the Tree of Life Trails came up. That's a place that brings us, among other emotions, a lot of joy. And so we've been exploring that. But I think at the backbone of everything is the interviews. We've, for people who've listened for a long time, we've teetered back and forth, and it's kind of based on the interview as well of what that person wants to talk about. Sometimes it's more business focused, how can you expand or create a project that you're working on? Sometimes it's, hey, I used my blog as a way to connect to the magic. And so we kind of hit both sides of it and just kind of play it by ear as far as that, but it's been really fun. It's a similar discussion that we're having today, so you get it.
I love it. I love that. Catherine, I feel like you were going to dive in there.
Oh, no. I mean, I completely agree with everything he said. It's just helping.
My wife has never said that. Just going to throw that in.
It's just, we're connecting with these people, and, it satisfied like that, I guess, desire that we had to be more connected with the Disney community, because, in Tennessee, we didn't know that there were other people like us out there who were adults who love Disney. Like, we were like the weird people out of all of our friends. Yeah, we thought, who were obsessed with Disney. And then it turns out, Brendan found this community of great people for us and who are just like us. And so we've gotten to connect, and, we've always wanted to help other people kind of find that niche too. So
I love that. I love that. That's my favorite part of this journey too, for me on my YouTube channel, and trying to, grow it outside of YouTube also. But I love this. There's lots of things I love. I love baseball. I love Disney. There's lots of things I love. But one of the most fun things in life to do is to connect with people who love what you love. And that's what you guys are doing with your interview shows and growing your well, growing your little podcast empire. I love that. Favorite interview you've done so far? Best episode is another way to look at this, so the people can come find it, and I will try to link to it below in the description after they tell me which one it is. Could be two.
Oh God.
Yeah, for the interviews, it's very tough. That's like picking a
Like
favorite dog.
kids or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's totally easy. Just people lie about that. All right. I've got 4 daughters and 3 dogs. Don't make me say it out loud. But anyway.
I'd say storytelling. We had a part 1 and a part 2 to Haunted Mansion. That was probably the most fun we've ever had behind the mics. We got on so many different tangents and theories and almost creating up our own theories of what the Haunted Mansion could be. So that would probably be my answer there. And then, some highlight interviews. They're all great. And every person has their own episode.
All right. I get it.
But I will name at least one, and that was with Casey from Disneyland Daily. Oh. We actually just met her in person last week for the first time. She was in Disney World. Her interview, she is like the kindest and most giving person.
And
so full of knowledge.
Yeah.
Casey from
Disneyland Daily.
Yeah.
And so that's like one that I don't normally go back and listen to our own episodes, but I've went back and listened to that one just because she just enthuses this passion for Disney that is infectious. So if there's ever a time that you're, wondering what's the point of this, you can kind of see it through that discussion.
I love that. And what about you, Catherine?
Yeah, how do you follow that up? I would say kind of in the same vein for storytelling. I think my favorite has been, oh God, the name just left me. That's embarrassing.
I think of Kevin a minute ago, so there you go.
The Collie River Rapids, just because I feel like that's a ride that we kind of hate because we don't like getting wet in the parks. But
I have to get wet after about 8 seconds in the park. It's so dang hot there.
But the history behind it and the storytelling was incredible. I mean, completely eye-opening.
So I don't know the backstory on that one. So that would be one that I would dive into for sure, because I haven't heard that episode of yours, and I don't know the backstory. So that's kind of cool.
It's incredible, the story that they're able to tell. And the best part about it is if you don't like water rides, you can just walk through the queue and get it without getting on the ride.
It's one of the best queues on property that almost nobody goes through.
Yeah, very detailed.
Interesting. I love it. I love the queue, but I don't know the story. I just like it. But you're crazy. It's fun to get wet when you're all hot and sweaty, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, go ahead, please.
Well, I was going to say, so that's my favorite storytelling. And then I think my other favorite would be, we did like a moving series. So as we were making the move from Nashville to Orlando. And I think for me, those are my favorite just because like we'll be able to look back in 10 years and be like, oh my gosh, like that's like, we'll be able to remember it. So it was more just kind of for us so that we can kind of reflect back on it and see like why we did what we did. What were we doing? We were crazy for driving a 26-foot truck from Nashville to Orlando by ourselves.
Honey, why are we in Magic Kingdom? Go home first, right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. So I think for me, that was just kind of, it's good as like a, what would you call that?
Well, we called them diaries.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they are.
Yeah.
I like it. That's fun. Well, and I totally hear you, Catherine, to the, it's more personal for you, right? It's going to be a memory that's safe somewhere. Now, if we do this again, and we will, in 2 years when you're even bigger and you've gotten that interview that you've always wanted, who is he, who is she, who are they, who's that get? And by the way, promo time, listen up, people, they're asking for you, whoever they're about to.
Are we going to have the same one?
I think, well, are you going to say an Imagineer or like a content creator?
Oh. Ooh.
We've never even thought about interviewing Imagineers, but since we do storytelling, it might make sense down the road. Yeah. I think for a content creator, and we've actually been offered to connect with this person, and it's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if we're ready. Like, can we handle it yet?
Is it Mickey Mouse? Who could it be? Like,
well, it's Lou Mangello. I mean,
nice, yeah.
And we've interviewed.
I don't know him. I know people who know him, and I hear he's a great guy. But
yeah, and for me, it was. I listened to WDW radio when I was stuck in my corporate job that I couldn't stand, and Disney was my escape. And that played such a major role for me. And so he's kind of like, what do they call him? The Podfather, the Disney Podfather.
Godfather. I might have the Godfather on my wall. It's like my favorite Godfather 2, greatest movie ever. That's pretty good right there. The Podfather. I'm stealing that.
Yeah. So I think, and obviously Lou has made such a huge impact. So that would probably be the one for me. Do you have a different one?
Is he one of the reasons why you're podcasting, dare I ask?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Lou, are you listening? Call me.
I don't know if we're ready.
Yeah, no. don't
Later. Call
Yeah.
him and schedule it in the future. I don't know.
I mean, he's probably a busy guy, so
We'll do it eventually.
eventually. I was gonna say, so the same kind of thing to fill our Disney void. We watched a lot of Tim Tracker too. So, I mean, he's a lot of fun. So I guess for me, I would want to talk to him sometime.
Nice. I'm guessing you're down there all the time. I'm guessing you bumped into him a few times. I don't live there, and I have, so I'm sure you have.
We have twice. Once we've
Well,
talked to him.
once.
Once he was in Magic Kingdom, just swarmed with people.
Yeah,
So we let him
we let him be.
escape that crowd. And then once we just spoke to him in passing, Catherine had a mouthful of tachos from Woody's lunchbox.
I didn't know he was coming. I was stuffing my face.
The Tim Tracker Tachos episode coming soon.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
I only talked to him really quick. He was very, very friendly. I get him walking in before the world got him, but it was actually Galaxy's Edge opening day. Met a bunch of people that day. Obviously, the whole world was there. But anyway, I think that's cool. So, Mr. Tracker, Mr. Moncello, call Detour to Neverland. They need you. And then, what about the story time? I want to hear your upcoming. Maybe it's one you haven't set it up yet, or you're excited about. Obviously, Haunted Mansion you're pretty excited about. But what's an upcoming story? What you call it? Story time?
Storytelling.
Storytelling. I knew that was wrong, but story time came out of my.
Oh gosh, what are we gonna do next?
I don't know. Probably Space Mountain soon.
Oh, nice.
We keep saying this, and we don't want to talk about it yet because obviously so many people haven't been on it. But Rise of the Resistance, like we try to give it, we call it a silly Detour to Neverland score at the end of each episode. And it's like, we can't give anything a 10 because Rise of Resistance is the only 10.
Ooh.
That sets the benchmark.
Yeah.
So Flight of Passage is what's the second? Okay, that's the greatest ride in your opinion. I haven't done it yet, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Flight of Passage second is the important question for me now.
I would say so. So we have like a rubric actually where we score all of these because at first we were very subjective and we were trying to be not as subjective. So, the teacher in us.
I've never used rubric out loud in my life.
So we have a rubric and like some of the, I guess,
Categories.
are things like how immersive is it? The thrill factor. Are you willing to wait for it? So, I mean, I'd say Flight of Passage would be pretty far up there.
Yeah, we haven't done Flight of Passage. The ones that we've done that I know rank the highest right now are Expedition Everest and Tower of Terror and
Yeah.
Splash Mountain
Probably Haunted Mansion.
and Haunted Mansion, all ranked really, really high.
I love that. What's at the bottom? By the way, there is a right and wrong answer here, and you will make people mad. So go for it.
We gave, what was it that we gave an awful score to?
Oh, God, now I can't remember.
It rhymes with rhinosaur. Just gonna say.
We did Dinosaur. I think we rated it okay, like in the
Yeah.
middle.
I have subscribers every night. I talk about dinosaur. I'm just telling you. Just be careful. People love it.
It's become trendy to love Dinosaur recently.
Yeah.
And
Which is strange.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
There's a big Dr. Seeker fan club out in the world. Who knew? I'm there for Mrs. Huxtable, but other people are there for him.
So many things I did not expect to.
I'm trying to remember what we rated really, really low. There was something that was like abysmal.
Yeah. I feel like it was pretty recent too. I don't know. We did like the pal around once.
Oh, Pal Around got a horrible score.
Yeah, we hate the pal around.
That's what they call Mickey's Fun Wheel now
Oh,
in DCA.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that
so you
was
guys been out
terrible.
to Disneyland, obviously. We've talked about Disneyland a few times. So compare and contrast the two. Disney. I'm from Southern California, so I've gone to Disneyland many more times than I've ever been to Disney World. But now I live in Texas, so we go to Disney World. Wifey still goes to Disneyland once a year, but my in-laws are out there, so I stay on this side of the country. But and they don't listen, but they know anyway. But anyway, compare and contrast. You like which one better, and most importantly, why?
I think the way that we've been saying it recently, and I think I'm still sticking to this, is that a single day to visit any park, it's Disneyland. To go on a vacation, I guess this is prior to moving here, I think Walt Disney World has more to offer. But if you just give me one day to go somewhere, you can't beat the charm of Disneyland.
So, Catherine, I want to hear from you, but tell me more on why Mr. Wright. I need to know more on that, because I love Disneyland, but most people, that's not what I normally hear. Tell me more.
I think the food is better
Yeah.
in Disneyland. I just think, for anybody who's interested even remotely in the history, you just can't beat that feeling of walking down Main Street in Disneyland. I think it's everything else from that point forward feels like a replica, because it is.
Yeah.
And
walked this street. Walt made that. Walt sat up there, all those kinds of things.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although the castle's a little underwhelming, but we can get past that.
But you can walk through it.
That's true.
I know. The first time I was in Walt Disney World, that's so funny you say that. The first time I was in Walt Disney World, I'm like, you're not letting me in? I don't get to walk through this? No, what? No, fix it.
You got to pay $79.99 to eat with Cinderella.
Exactly.
To walk through it.
Yeah. All right. Ms. Wright, I need to hear.
Well, I would almost say, so we are obsessed with Disneyland. We've only been once, and I don't know if that's part of it. It's just that it's new.
I love that. Okay, tell me more.
But I would almost prefer DCA because I don't know. It was just a lot of fun. They have Cars Land.
Yes.
I loved Cars Land. The theming, daytime, nighttime was even better. We went for Halloween.
Nice.
And I think they just outperformed Disney World as far as like theming, the parades, the overlays,
The holiday
food.
is great.
Yeah, everything. So I think that's maybe why we're just kind of biased as we went during the best time of the year. The weather was perfect. I think that plays into it.
Anaheim.
Is the weather.
Only 365 days a year. Yeah.
And
We also, on that same trip, we flew into San Diego and went to the zoo and ate some of the best food we've ever had in San Diego.
San Diego. Where'd you eat in San Diego?
We went to Oscar's Taco Shop.
Nice.
We went, the Great Maple. It's really close to the zoo.
Okay.
Probably the best breakfast we've ever had in our entire life.
My wife actually worked for the Zoological Society for a while. We didn't work in the zoo. She worked up at Wild Owl Park, which is now Safari Park, but I don't know the place you mentioned. Did you check out Seaport Village? Did you see a game at Petco or whatever the park's called down here?
I've been to Petco prior. So we can talk about this off air if you like. That used to be my family's vacations every year, is we went to as many baseball stadiums as we could.
Oh, I knew I liked you. Dang.
And
Petco's one of the
actually, now that I say that out loud, we didn't go to Petco. We went to Qualcomm prior.
So I grew up running around Qualcomm. Not a great stadium, but
No.
San Diego.
So yeah, we went in October. Padres were eliminated at that point. I think it was during the World Series too, when we were in Southern California. But we went to the zoo. We ate some good food. We just spent a couple days there. We stayed right next to, I don't know what the area is called, but near the airport and near where the cruise ships dock. Because when we got there was a Disney cruise line boat there.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We love San Diego.
oh yeah.
I do too. Cool. I love it. Catherine, I feel like I stepped on you. Were you about to say something?
Oh no.
Okay.
We just love it. That's all we can say is we loved it.
Detour to Neverland is a podcast. Detour to Neverland is about, by the time you watch this, it's going to be the YouTube channel. It's already there. You should subscribe and you should watch their video, which as I'm talking isn't there yet, but will be by the time you're listening to this, right? Right?
Correct.
Do you want, tell them what they're going to see on the YouTube channel. It sounds like it's going to be the podcast on the video, but anything else you want to add to that before we end up, I want you to promote that for the people.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just going to be putting, a face with our voices a little bit more. I think it'll also help to maybe have a little more in-depth conversations, in this setting. We're going to have camera on me, a camera on Catherine, wide angle as well. So you'll see that. We'll figure out how way to get the interviews in there as well. And then, we're also going to try to incorporate as much parks footage as we can. I don't think we'll ever be vloggers. I don't think we have it in our blood, but we'll find other ways to bring the parks to the screen.
I wouldn't have asked about the vlogging except for you said you'll never do it. What's the story there?
I mean, it's just, we're not really the kind of people to have, I don't know, a camera in our face. I think it took us so long to do video because we're very intimidated by it. If we're being honest, video is very scary for us. Like, it's one thing to just sit in our little office and just like talk to each other. But then once you put a camera in front of our face, I don't know, it just feels different.
You know what's scary? Love bugs and that big bug that you can't find.
No, we found it and it's dead. So we're safe.
We had a burial for it.
Yeah.
Until we found it. No, that's. What else do you want to tell the people about you? We got 6 or 7 more minutes during the show to keep it in an hour. I try to ask very general questions so I get stuff out of your brain to the people. What do you want them to know about you guys, the podcast, anything like that? Disney, anything?
I think more than anything, we just like connecting with people, similar to the same sentiments that you shared about, that's the juice that keeps us going, is just making new friends, finding new people, figuring out, what it is that they love about Disney and just swapping those stories and maybe incorporating some of those things. Like, I'm sure next time we go to Disneyland, we'll have to ask you your favorite things to do there. And like, that's the stuff that we really enjoy, to keep enhancing our experience and keep enhancing the joy that it brings us. And that's just kind of the same vein that we try to have the podcast is.
I love that. I think so many of us love Disney, right? I mean, there's a reason the reservations are hard to get because people want them. A lot of people are going, and people's favorite thing is different often. I mean, lots of people like Haunted Mansion, lots of people like the Jungle Cruise, whatever, but it's not always the same thing for everybody, right? And I love that. There's so many different layers to it. I mean, you can ride the Jungle Cruise 100 times and you're still cracking up, and it's not even that funny. It's the immersion of Disney, and what connects with me might not be what connects with her or you. That's kind of one of the things I love about it. And speaking of Disneyland, Indiana Jones is the best ride, and Dinosaur is the worst ride, and it's the same ride, but not like, it drives me crazy. But that's a whole show. But anyway, Catherine, I didn't let you answer this one. What's something you want the people to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, kind of sticking with that, since it kind of goes with our storytelling series, but we enjoy finding those little details or having those little moments, or even just as we talk to people and interview people, it's like finding those moments of clarity for us. Why are we doing what we do? Well, it's because we get to meet cool people and we get to talk to them and hear their stories. And I think some of the best interviews that we've had are where like we really get to know somebody. Like they're so open, and it's incredible to hear about, they'll sell things on Etsy and then give a portion of their proceeds to different charities or different organizations that they feel strongly about. So then we go and we'll look them up and learn more about them. So I think, just learning more about people, and then, being able to share that and hopefully let other people know that they're not alone if you're somewhere where your friends maybe don't like Disney like ours were.
And the only other thing I would say is, and we've shared this on the podcast as well, and I think a lot of people can relate to this, like every major life decision or turning point that we've had in our, relatively short marriage, I mean, relative to other people, it's like everything revolves around Disney. Anytime we left a job, we went to Disney. Anytime we decided that we were going to move, we went to Disney to think on it. And I think so many people feel that as well, as that it just brings you so much clarity. So
I love my life. I love my job. I love my career. I'm proud of it. But I recently said, and I don't look back on things very often and go, oh, I wish I would have. That's just not my personality. But I lived in Southern California. I told my wife a couple months ago, but I honestly don't know why I never considered. I lived in San Diego. Anaheim was an hour and a half. 8 hours with traffic, but an hour and a half in the real world. And why didn't I consider it? It never even entered my mind. I mean, I love what I'm doing. I'm happy I did, and that's a segue to, for both of you, do you ever consider working for Disney? Maybe not right now because they're laying everybody off, but in the future.
We've talked about it, but more so in the vein of like when we retire, like we're going to be those people who maybe retire and work for Disney.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because, so my sister still works for Disney, and it is very hard, get away from what's happening right now. But it is hard work. And, of course you have to climb the ladder. And I mean, you do that for a lot of jobs. But when we see Disney, I don't know if we ever, really considered making a career out of working for Disney.
I think we'd both kind of we'd be content just being frontline people, a greeter, a bus driver, attraction operator. I would be perfectly happy doing that one day.
We got roped into signing up for DVC, and I'm very excited that I signed up for DVC. So I wasn't roped in, but I talked to the gentleman who drove us there and back. He loved his job as much as any human has ever loved a job. And you know what he does all day? Drives people like me and you to Animal Kingdom and back, or wherever he's going, right? And he loves it. And I'm like, I bet he has less stress than me. I mean, he seems pretty happy, and I don't know what he got paid, but there's so many opportunities. Again, exception being where we are right now on the planet. 2020 is nuts, but I think it would be awesome to share the magic, and you guys are sharing the magic on your podcast. Cast members share the magic of podcasts. I'll end with this, the last question for both of you, separate question. So Catherine, you first, and then Brendan. You're CEO of Disney. What movie do you make? What change do you make? Go.
What movie would I make? Well, I'd probably redo Mulan because I hated the live action. It was trash.
I've only talked to one person who very, very much liked it, and they're not even a Disney person. They're a creator, but they're not even a Disney creator. Everybody else pretty much said what you said.
Well, you're not missing much. So I would redo that because I don't think it was done very well. I don't think it was done justice. So, because I love that movie. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about it. I love the story. I like the history of that time period because I taught that back in Tennessee, like ancient civilizations and stuff.
Nice.
So I think you can tie the two together, but not the way that they did it. So I would change that. And then I already forgot the second half of the question because I went on a tangent.
Oh, you did good. What would you change at Disney? You're the CEO. You can do anything you want. What would you do? What's the big thing?
So I really want to go to Paris. And the reason why I want to go to the Paris Disneyland,
I can't believe you're about to say this,
is because they have a dragon. So we need a dragon here. If I was the CEO, we would get a dragon.
Would you put it under a castle?
100%. Yeah.
What a platform to run on.
That's the best I can come up with on the spot. I would get a dragon and I'd redo Mulan. I don't know.
I like it. Well, now the pressure's on you, buddy. You're making fun of her answer, but now.
What movie would I make? I guess the rumors are it's in development. I guess I have two. One is Haunted Mansion needs a redo.
In development since the day it came out. So
yeah. I really want that Benicio del Toro one that was supposed to happen way in the past.
Other stuff, but I vote for that too. Come on.
And then then the other rumor I heard they're making a Space Mountain movie. I think you could do something really cool.
So you're going to get a deep dive. I thought we were at the end, but what the heck? So Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies worked. Greatness, great, well written, my opinion. Johnny Depp was great. They're great movies, but you still didn't really do the story. And there is one. It's actually scenes already, so it's a story being told. Haunted Mansion. There's not enough drugs in the world not to be able to write that story easily. There's scenes ready made for you. So I don't understand how they don't just go with the scenes. But in Space Mountain, they don't even have that. Like, what the heck? It's a dark roller coaster, people. What's the movie? I don't understand. Tell me your thoughts.
I don't know. I think that's what's alluring to me is that's just like a completely open book. I do have a fear that it would just play off kind of the same idea as the Tomorrowland movie with George Clooney that was not great. So I don't
like
know.
the
but
idea of that movie, not so much the actual movie itself.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe you could, bring in some of the different versions of it and do like the Jules Verne style that they have in Paris for Hyperspace Mountain. I don't know, but that is one. Is there really a backstory to Space Mountain, or is it just a
I don't know.
road?
I need your podcast to dive in. I know.
We'll have to do it soon.
I don't think I don't know if there's a backstory. That would be hard.
If there is, I'm unaware of it. I mean, the queue in Disneyland has a little bit of a story, but it's just you're in a spaceport. The Walt Disney World one's just like you're in line.
In a dark tunnel,
with
dimly
cool
lit.
music.
Dimly lit.
Dimly lit.
Dimly lit, yes. Hashtag dimly lit. So I'm going to end with this. You interview people, you do lots of stuff. If somebody's interested in your podcast and wants to be a guest, are you always looking for guests? How do they get a hold of you? Or how do you go find the people that you're looking for? Tell people the process, because I guarantee it happens to me all the time. When people come on my show and they talk about doing interviews, people reach out to me and say, hey, how do I get a hold of them? So I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever said no to interviewing somebody. So we are.
You're going to get 20 people now.
Watch
out.
Good. Yeah. I mean,
let's do it. I think most of our interviews just come up through references and
mutual
getting
friends
done and saying, hey, you should really talk to this person, or you should talk to this person. And that's just kind of how it takes place. It's pretty, we don't do much quote unquote cold calling. It's pretty much always people that we've interacted with. We know them a little bit better. And that's just how it works. And it's worked for us up to this point. And then it's been a lot of fun.
It's usually just messaging on Instagram, or, we're pretty easy to find or contact. That's really all it is.
I will say, for some reason, people have tried to reach us through the contact form on our website, and it's went to my spam folder before.
Oh.
And I've had to follow up with people like months later, like,
I'm sorry.
hey, we really want to interview you. I'm so sorry.
Tip tracker in my spam folder. What happened?
Quite possibly.
Detour to Neverland.com, right? Have I had that right? I think so.
That is correct. Yep.
On Instagram, Detour to Neverland. On YouTube, Detour to Neverland. And strangely on the podcast, also Detour to Neverland. Where'd you come up with the story? And we'll end, or the title, and we'll end with that. Detour to Neverland. Obviously, there's a Peter Pan thing going on there. Tell me the backstory on that, and then I'll shut up and we'll say goodnight.
Detour to Neverland on TikTok too. TikTok's my new obsession.
Oh,
no, TikTok's just craziness.
It's for fun.
Detour to Neverland, we actually came up with a name before we came up with anything behind it. It's one of those shower thoughts. Funny enough, it's like, kind of the story behind how I came up with all of this is like I mentioned, I was working this corporate career. It really wasn't doing what I thought it was going to do, what I was promised going to 6 years of school and got out. And it just wasn't what I was looking for. And I kept coming back to Disney and, what can I do to get closer to Disney? Even if it doesn't make any money, what's something that I can do that kind of fulfills me in that way? And so I just thought, hey, I'm not going down the normal path. I'm taking a detour to Neverland.
Ooh, that's good.
So
You get all the credit for that one. I didn't help with that.
We registered the domain probably 8 months before we even said, like, hey, we should do a podcast with this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's awesome. My name came because I dropped some Dole Whip on my shoe. So your story wins.
No, that's better.
Well,
was it a float or normal?
Oh, it was just a big mess on my shoe that I didn't get to eat anymore. No, it was from a spoon. It was just normal Dole Whip, but I kind of do like Dole Whip, hence the name. Anyway, so you guys don't go anywhere because after the show, I'm going to say how awesome you are to your face. But to your face now, guys, if you don't know that, if you didn't know them already, obviously you like them now. Detour to Neverland, the podcast, everywhere podcasts can be heard. Yes, I don't want to lie. And then obviously, like we said, TikTok and Insta and the web and all the places, and email them. Apparently, you have a 100% chance of getting on the show, but I don't believe them because they're going to get a million emails. So hurry up. Reach out to me if you want to be on the show. I think that's it, guys. It's been awesome. I really, really appreciate you guys being on the show. I hope you had fun. Is this you said it's a video, so it's the first time on video for an interview, if not first time on the other side of the mic. I'm assuming you've been on the other side of the mic before, but did I scare you with the video? I mean, no bugs?
We had a blast. This is our first time doing a video interview. All the others have just been podcasts. Yeah. So you made it easy for us, and we appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. That's it. Check out Detour to Neverland, the podcast, and all those other things. Yeah, I appreciate everyone listening. Have the best day ever. Have fun storming the castle. See you next time.
There you go, Brendan and Catherine, Detour to Neverland, the podcast. All the links to all the places you can find them are down below in the description. Please go to their podcast, hit the subscribe button, give a listen to 2 or 3 of their episodes. You're going to like them. Obviously, if you stay to the end, you already like them. They're some neat people. And as they said, if you're a Disney creator, reach out to them. Details below in the description if you want to get on their podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if it's Sunday, it's Disney Creators. I'm really glad you stayed till the end. Have the best day ever. Have fun storming the castle. Go subscribe to Detour to Neverland, the podcast. Oh, and their YouTube channel. That's it. Bye for now.